Hello. It's good to see all of you. I'm pretending I'm in romper room for those of you that are old enough to remember that when she used to say, I see Susie and I see Lisa. Anyways, it's good to be here. First of all, I just want to say how much I miss all of you, and I truly, truly appreciate that every one of you have been so kind. I've had a lot of phone calls of people saying, I miss you. And I've had a lot of you telling me how much you enjoy the cards and that I'm doing this. And I love it because in my mind, it's my way of staying in touch with you, even if I'm not talking to you or seeing you. And I appreciate, even if I don't get back to all of you, I know I'm horrid with Facebook and social media because I'm so busy with other things, but don't think I don't read them and love you and appreciate you for you appreciating what I'm doing. So wondering how you're all doing, wondering how you're getting through, and now that we're into the nice weather and continuing to move closer to spring, well, we're in spring, summer, very excited about that and feel like I'll be seeing some of you real soon. It's like opening the doors to this for the summer and just feeling like there we are. And I can't wait to see you. For some of you, it's been well over a year that I have not been in touch with you. I don't know what's going on. Some of you have chosen to wait until I'm seeing people in person again because you would rather that connection, and I don't blame you. But I do miss you, and I don't take you for granted at all. And I hope that once I start seeing people again, which is going to be real soon, in fact, people can start calling and booking, that this will be good, that I can have my fix of seeing all of you in person, because although I've been doing the phone and Zoom, it's still not the same, and I'm sure you feel the same way, but that's how I feel. It's just not the same. So, just know I'm still here for you, and I would love to get a little blurb from you saying, this is how I've maneuvered through COVID and, until you come back in again. So anyways, that's what I want to say. This feels like such a wonderful time of year, even though it's all muddy and, we're used to that being in New England, right? But just being in this place of knowing that this is a time when we're in transition still. I feel like spring, summer, we're in transition. And this is a wonderful time for us to reevaluate. Every time we change seasons, it's about reevaluating where you are in the big scheme of things as the wheel turns, as it did in March 20th for spring equinox. Where are we now? What are we focused on now? What needs attention? And sometimes we need attention after the long winter. Although I will say, it seems as though this flew by this winter. Even though, under all the restrictions and everything, I feel like it was January and then it's March, April. So just really taking inventory of where you are. Do you need some self-care? Just like we bring our cars in for tune-ups and all of that, and the different change of the seasons when winter's setting in, we make sure that, we check our tires and all our fluids and all of that. And now maybe you need to check your own fluids and your own tires and see where you're at, what self-care you need. And although they've been opening more and more things up, look at what's most important, not only for self-care, but what keeps you balanced? What are those things that you love doing that you haven't been able to do? Perhaps you need a massage. Perhaps you want your nails done. Whatever it is that you haven't been able to get out and do, I really suggest that this is a time that you can do that you can feel good about getting out, connecting, having those few special people that you feel safe enough to connect with, and just allowing yourself to move in the direction you'd like to move in. So as we think of spring, we think of planting things, or at least I do. I think of my fairy garden that I'm just putting together back outside. Perhaps you love going for walks in this weather, or you love sitting outside and getting a little sun. Whatever it is for you, make yourself priority, because so many times we just don't realize how much our body and our mind and our emotions are dealing with. And I want you to just know that this is so important to our mind, body, spirit connection. And I try to look at all three of those to see, okay, where's my mind at? And if my mind is starting to go in the wrong direction, as we all have times that we do that, even though we know better, law of attraction and all of this, sometimes we're moving in the wrong direction. And we have to say, okay, stop. And then starting to look at what you're grateful for. We talk about this all the time, the importance of gratitude, that it creates the vacuum for new things to come in. But this is really a time where we want to pay attention to that. I like to do it when I'm outside walking. When I walk, I can look around and hear the birds, or see the birds, and whatever I'm focusing on. If I'm taking Ben for a walk, I'm grateful for him. All of this, I do my gratitude. With each step, I'm doing a gratitude. Another thing you can do is set intention. So say you have an intention of something you're trying to create or manifest in your life. With each step on the ground as you're walking, set your intention. See it happening. Ground it into Mother Earth. And this is another way that I do things when, okay, with every in-breath, I'm breathing in light into whatever it is that I'm trying to create. With every exhale, I see it happened. Ground it in, happening, planting the seed for whatever it is that wants to come to fruition. And I always say this, or something better still. Those of you that have coached with me, because you know, if God has another plan, if Spirit has another plan, that, oh my God, here it is, something even better than you could have imagined, then so be it. Let it happen. So this is a time when we really want to start multitasking and thinking, sure, when I'm out walking, I can be doing that. If I'm taking a bath, I can be meditating and lighting a candle, and putting some aromas in the bathtub, because this is also multitasking. You're caring for yourself, you're nurturing, and you're also meditating, whatever it is. So this is a time to really be clued in to what you want. And instead of looking so far out, I think we tend to look at all the big things that haven't manifested yet and are so far out. Well, instead of that, what would happen if we just look for this season? So in spring, this is what I want to bring in. This is what I want to accomplish. And then at the end of spring, okay, summer. What are the things I want to do? What do I want to bring forward? And just allowing yourself to have more self-care, more love, and more attention in this beautiful time. That's one of the great things I love about being on the East Coast. We have all the different seasons. So it's almost like we get a break from every single season we have playing out. But we get a break because just when we feel like I don't want to see any more snow, here comes the sun again. So that's what I wanted to say to you today, to just allow yourself more self-care, more love, more connection, and get out there and start exploring a little bit more. This is a wonderful time to be doing that. Okay, so we're going to start with the cards for this up and coming week. And I'm going to pull 3 from this Rider-Waite Tarot deck. All right, what do you want to tell the people for this week? Take right off the top. So right away, what I see is a card of feeling like, you know, what have I planted? And why are things not sprouting fast enough? And we know that in spring, that's the time we plant the seeds. And it's no different in our own life. The seeds you're planting to have them come to fruition with whatever you're trying to create. So we plant seeds. I actually tell people in my spring equinox event to get one of those starter kits with the little individual pots and get a pack of seeds, any seeds. And with each seed, to hold it to your heart, to think of a part of a dream you want. Breathe your breath into it, because our breath is so important to give things life. And then plant it. And each one is a different dream that you plant in an individual little pot. And then you label them. And as they start to come up, you can see which dreams are coming first to fruition and which need a little bit more help. So that's a very cool thing to do. So here is the card. Here he is. He's planted things and things aren't happening quick enough for him. And he's like, when is this going to happen? I think we can all relate to that. We want everything yesterday. And this is very, very important. The next card is, how I see this is that it's kind of a partnership card. And it's being in connection with others. He's holding the whole world. He has support behind him with another wand or rod here. And he's looking over the ocean to see, you know, how he's going to do what he is here to do and what is it going to bring back to him. So perhaps you need somebody else that helps you. Maybe you need to hire an assistant. Maybe you need somebody that's a web person to get your idea up and running. So this week we're looking at, yeah, maybe things haven't happened quick enough, but we are trying to get the help we need to make things happen. And we've got a theme going here. This last card is kind of like, when's my ship going to come in? So look at that. He's standing over a cliff looking at the ships out there, and he's waiting for things to come in. So we know that this is a time that we have to be patient, we have to pray, we have to take action steps towards what our dream is, and then we have to wait for the return on it. So this is very, very important. All right. The next deck is Queen of the Moon Oracle. And we're going to pull a card on this up and coming week. What do people need to know for this up and coming week? For some reason today I want to pull off the top. Resistance. So look at that card. The first thing that calls out to me is she's holding on for dear life. She's got the trees or whatever this is, and she's holding on. And we all know that when we hold on too tightly, it's not a good thing. We have to learn to let go. This says, familiarize yourself with how resistance manifests for you, the overt and the covert. If you continue to have doors slammed in your face, turn around. There will normally be an open door. Procrastination is just another kind of fear. Move forward with confidence and persistence. And there's an affirmation. I flow through resistance and I am in control. So we can't always see why we're being given this resistance, right? We don't always know why we have to take it slower. But if we follow the lead of where we're going, it will always show us the way. So when things don't, aren't moving, I take a breath, I take a step back, I work on something else, and then I try to go back to it. Maybe it's just divine timing isn't right. And this is showing you, certainly with the other tarot cards I pulled, that this week looks like it may not be the best week to make it happen, to shove it, to really try to push it, okay? We've got quite a theme here. The next card is from The Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette. What do you want to show us for this week? Transformation, intuition, and patience. So again, we have patience and resistance and all of this. The Swan Queen, isn't she beautiful? So as I look at this, she's just sitting there. She's watching the swans and she's just sitting there. So it doesn't look like this week is the week to make things happen. It looks like it's an internal week. What do you need to work on? Your intuition, having patience. What internally do you need to shift in order to have things happen? So that's totally what I'm seeing here. Let's see what she has to say. Whoop. The Swan Queen. She glides your way and asks that you look at your reflection in the events of your life. She gives you the ability to see the beauty that has transformed your life from ignorance to wisdom. The Swan Queen lets you know that it's time to go within and seek the answers in your own intuition. Don't look outside for answers now. The true power lies within, reflected in the still waters within you. Now is the moment to meditate and ask for a vision. The power of psychic perception is inherent in you, and the Swan Queen will help you dive into your query to find the answers you seek. This is also a reminder to allow time to transform your ideas into reality. Nothing happens overnight. So you can see by what I'm sharing with you, every single card is pointing us in that direction. It's telling us this week, take a break, take a breath, be patient. Allow yourself to work on the internal until the external is ready to shift again. I have a deck that I haven't used in a while that I do love, but I just have so many decks I'm always switching over. This is called the Ocean Oracle, and it's quite beautiful. What seashells reveal about our true nature. And this is Michelle Hansen, a friend of mine who's done this deck. The deck is absolutely beautiful. And it's funny because she calls herself Shelley. That is, Michelle is her real name. And she's been fascinated her whole life with shells. And she studies the way the shells look, the kind that they are, where they come from, all of that. And, sorry, I'm just trying to get them all to see which one wants to come out. She has these kind of mats, and this says name and appearance group, and they all have numbers. Then we have an intuition group that she's paired off. We have a behavior group and an interaction group. So these are really cool. And then, of course, she has the book that comes with it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle from this giant deck and see what is the one that wants to come out on this third Sunday in April. What do people need to know? Now, you can do this a different way. If you wanted to look at the paper or the little chart and one is drawn to you by color or shape, then you could read that as well. But there's too many here. I don't want to spend the time doing that. So I am going to take a card for everybody right off the top. Whoops. Okay, 2 came. So we're going to look at that. The first one is 66. I'll show you the shell. And this says, it's an abalone. Seeing past the exterior, as in the expression, don't judge a book by its cover. So let's see if there's more on that. It says, explanation. In its natural state, the abalone is covered with barnacles and tube worms and does not draw attention. If we scrape off this outer surface, an iridescent material, sometimes termed sea opal, lies just beneath. Greatly valued for its beauty, this I don't know how to say it, PAUA, is often used by jewelers to fashion colorful bracelets, earrings, and pins. So again, seeing past the exterior, don't judge a book by its cover. So we'll have to wait to see how that turns out this week. Maybe things aren't always as they seem, so to recognize that. The next one is called a shin bone tibia. That one looks very familiar to us on the East Coast. It says, feeling left out or being kept in the dark, things going over one's head. So we may not know, what's coming to me is we may not know what's really going on, right? As we're working on things, there's always things happening behind the scenes with spirit. And so we may not know what is going on and we're kept in the dark, but things are still working. There's always things working on the inner planes. The explanation for this is this intricately sculpted shell never sees the light of day. The mollusk lives buried upside down beneath the ground with just the tip of the bottom of its shell breaking the surface. Although the animal has eyes, its head is positioned too deep in the ground for the sun's rays to penetrate. Engulfed in darkness, its vision is greatly impaired. Well, that's interesting. So what else is coming with this is use your intuition, you know, that when we can't see something, we have to feel around and go within. All right. That was interesting. Divine Dog Group. I like this one. It's so different. And even the card on this side, isn't that nice? Okay. For this third Sunday in April. Oh, tenderness, gentle, loving care. How cute is this? A German Shepherd licking a little kitten. Probably won't see that too often. They can be scary. But gentle, loving care. It says what it means if you fetch this card today. If you fetch this card, it means you're in need of care, or you need to express self-care in your life. What did we just talk about at the beginning? The root of tenderness, 10, suggests you now pay attention to what is sensitive and fragile, offering a gentle stroking, a thoughtful pat, or focusing of love. What is needed so that your life or another's life may flourish again? Perhaps there's an open wound in you, something vulnerable or painful to the touch that's in need of deep healing. It may be time to make yourself the pet you diligently take care of, making sure that plenty of fresh water and healthy food is available. Perhaps even more importantly, use kind words spoken in soft and reassuring tones to let yourself know that all will be taken care of and that all will be well as you treat yourself more tenderly. So there you go, self-care again. And the last card is coming from the Goddess, Colette's Goddess Power deck. So let's top off with the last card for this third Sunday in April and the week up and coming. Danu, assurance. What a beautiful card. Love this blue. And her headpiece that she has across her third eye area. Look at that. That is powerful. And she's got her hand open, and there's a seedling coming up. I love how all of this goes together with what I was talking about, and awesome. The alignment message is, there are days when you wonder if you're on the right track, if your dreams are valid, if you have what it takes to show up and shine. You may well have hit a dry spell where it appears nothing is happening and it makes you doubt yourself. When this earth goddess appears, she is reminding you of the promise of new life. Just as fields are often left purposely fallow, perhaps this seeming dry spell of yours is really a preparation time. Under the ground of your visible life lies a stream of abundance that is feeding the roots of seedlings of your intentions that were planted in your field of dreams. Go about your day-to-day life with faith. Danu assures you that the form of your desires will show up in divine timing in an even more magical way than you could ever imagine. Again, back to the beginning. What did we talk about? Planting the seeds, having your intentions, waiting and being patient for it to grow. So as we look at this, everything has a theme. Some weeks they don't, but this week definitely has a theme. It's telling us you've planted it, be patient. And you know the old saying, a watch pot never boils. Just keep sending it energy and let it be. Don't be resistant to the timing that it takes. And in the meantime, take a break, sit still, have some self-care, right? And don't judge the timing of things. And knowing that sometimes we can't see what's happening in the darkness. So while things are germinating under the good soil, the earth, we have to be patient. And so take a break and go do some self-care activity. And know that you don't have to watch it. It's continuing to grow. Thank you, thank you. Enjoy this beautiful week and don't worry about it. You know, we have times when we're supposed to be working hard and other times where we're supposed to take a break. Take a break this week. Take care of you. I love you. A big kiss out to each one of you and a big hug. Can't wait to see you again. Bye-bye.